So Gabe, apart from the intro to the show today, had you ever heard of Kaviza?
Yeah, I mean, you wrote about them a little while ago, I think, and but I don't even think I committed that to memory. So enlighten me.
Yeah, so Kaviza, I did. I wrote an article for searchvirtualdesktop.com about 4 vendors who you probably never heard of, but you probably should. And the short version with Kaviza, they're a VDI software vendor. They ride on top of ESX, but they take the connection broker, the load balancing, the provisioning, the disk management. They roll it all into a self-configuring virtual appliance that you drop on an ESX server, and then it's completely self-configuring. So the idea is you can take, kind of like the way Google does with their Google Grid, So the idea is you can have a server. All you do is drop this Kaviza virtual appliance on it, point that virtual appliance to your existing Kaviza environment, and the whole environment kind of grows automatically by itself. So
this is VDI in a box.
Yeah, and it's, I'm sorry, say again?
This is VDI in a box. That's what they call it.
Oh, yeah, VDI in a box, right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I have seen them, yeah.
And so they're shipping right now. It's like $65 per concurrent user since it's a VDI only thing. And basically they say, hey, we want to take all the complexity out of the environment. And we want to just make it so, the first one you kind of configure and then you just add boxes, and literally the UPS person could drop a new box, plug it in, and it's a VDI grid that's completely self-configuring. So they're actually headquartered down in Sunnyvale. So a couple days ago, I grabbed the camera, hopped in the car, and went down, and I talked to 2 guys, Kumar and Mike, who were the co-founders of the company, and they gave me a quick conversation and a quick demo.
I'm Mike Piercy. I'm from Kaviza. We give you some amount of control over what the hypervisor is doing, and the object is to try and keep you from having to use the hypervisor tools if you don't have to, but you are able to use the hypervisor tools outside, so you are able to fully manage these systems and the desktops.
But from the desktop sort of grid standpoint, I shouldn't have to worry about creating these desktops and allocating this many resources on the box. I just plug it in and let it do its thing.
That's the magic, is that you set up the desktop types you want, and then you just bring together the resources into the grid, and then the grid does the rest of the work.
All right, so why don't you show us what you have here as far as demo equipment and what you can show us today.
Okay, so over on the far wall we have 3 servers, and notice there's no shared storage. These are all have their desktop templates, the images, and the information that we need in order to manage the system is all within those 3 boxes.
And are these boxes all the same? I mean, are they sort of part of this grid that Kumar was talking about?
Yes, they're part of the grid. They're not the same. They can be heterogeneous. In fact, one of them has more memory than the others. But they are pretty much lightweight workstations. So part of this is also to show that we can do it with almost anything. We can, if it runs a hypervisor, it can run the VDI solution. Every one of these, in general, can behave as the administrative interface and as the connection broker. And in fact, you can even have one of the browser's pages fail to another one if it can't reach the server that's behind it. And yeah, we give a lot of power to connect to any of them that are in the network. So
if you go back to this administrative console I have over here, I'm browsing to one of the actual servers, right? One of those grid members. So if that specific one goes down, then do I just type in the DNS name of just another one randomly, and it'll be able to sort of pick up where the other one left off?
Yes, it'll have all the information that the other one had. They all know everything about the system that they need to know in order to pick up the load that someone else.
So do we have a web of connections that after 5 servers you've got 10 links, and 6 servers you have 15 links, and I mean, is this something where is there an upper limit to this this grid size?
In general, we want it all to run happily on a LAN. So we're looking at dozens of servers on a LAN that would run well together, and there's no set upper limit. It's just that if they can get to each other, then they should work together. Everything that you see here, the console, the administrative interface, the login screen, and the connection broker are all running inside of our virtual appliance, which you can just download off the web and pop onto a server, and you've got yourself a desktop server. And the essence of doing that, each one of these boxes has one of these servers on it, or one of these K-Manager appliances on it, and you can hit any one of them. And they're the ones that are talking to each other, and as the grid reconfigures now with that coming in, then the other K managers will recognize this K manager coming up again.
And so, is the K manager itself? You've got 3 computers here, 3 sort of grid members. When I add number 4 to this, so I stick ESX on there, copy on your virtual appliance, power it up, and then so the only configuration is to point it to the other ones, one of the other ones that's already there.
Exactly, and we can show you that. So now we can go ahead and log into Demo K Manager 3. That's the K Manager on Alpha 3.
Okay, so now you're browsing to a new URL that is the URL of the server that was taken out of the grid. So basically, this is kind of like the same thing would happen if you just had a brand new server, dropped your virtual appliance on there.
Exactly.
Is a virtual appliance the same for everyone? So it's not like that I have a specially packaged virtual appliance for my environment. It's the generic one that everyone uses.
The generic one everyone uses.
And I point it to the existing member, and everything's taken care of from there.
Yeah. So configure, we see we're setting it against VMware ESX.
All right, and so I notice a Hyper-V and Xen options there, which apparently are grayed out, but future proofing, yeah.
Yep. So here we're just setting up exactly what our credentials are that we can talk to the hypervisor. We're authorized, and that the hypervisor will listen to us and do what KManager needs it to do.
Oh, so this is the local credentials of the local box, the local hypervisor.
And we choose a data store.
And this is your data store?
This is an ESX data store, but this is the data store that will house the desktops. So we need to know where to put those templates so that they're happy to be copied around.
Okay, yeah, so you're just templates, okay.
Yep. And then we also choose the network, because you may be connected to several networks and back, so we pick the one that best serves your desktops. And now we do the validation. This is where we do some calisthenics, test out the connection to the hypervisor, and can this hypervisor do what this hypervisor is supposed to do, and will it let us do the things, and do you have the license on ESXi to do it, for instance. Now that we have a successful configuration, now it's join a grid. So we get to say, let's join the grid.
And now this is your thing.
Yep. So we pick any machine, any other machine in the grid, and give the credentials that would let you operate that machine, and say save. And now we are saving the grid information.
So what's your virtual appliance made up of? I mean, it's I'm assuming some kind of Linux VM, and probably has what in there, Apache and PostGrid. And
yep, Tomcat is the core of it, and we write our applets on top of that, and the full stack that lets us abstract away the actuation of the other VMs and other databases, and the abstraction that lets us show the visuals here. So the grid is very quick to join because it says, hey, you're in. So we click OK here, and notice here's the setup complete. These are the other things that were picked up from the grid. So user database, that's the connection to Active Directory or other LDAP server, and whether Virtual Center is configured or not. Because when Virtual Center is around, we want to play happy with it. So we need to know that information so that we can deal with Virtual Center well.